Alright, welcome to the first episode of The Pouch. So what The Pouch is going to be is basically Mudgeeraba's YouTube channel. We're going to interview players, coaching staff. You're going to have, what are we going to have? Like games from, like highlights from games and whatnot. And first guest today, Bronwyn Lee. In wake of National Women's Day yesterday. So Bronwyn's been at the club for 23 years this year.
Yep. It's been a
23
while.
years this year. So yeah, it's had been a while. I think, other than myself, I think you're the longest standing player at the club.
Still going strong.
Still going strong. Yeah, feels. Don't worry about that. So basically what this is going to be is just get to know some of your senior players. We're going to get some junior players on as well. I'm going to get some under 6s and 10s and stuff like that, and just for like good fun.
Yeah, cute.
Kind of like a footy show type thing.
Excellent.
No idea. Jodie's behind the camera trying not to laugh.
Sounds good.
So basically we're just going to have a bit of a chat to Bronwyn and go from there.
Bronwyn, so formal.
Brondog. Okay, so you've been at the club for 22 years. 3 years.
23 this year, yep.
23 this year, so we could call it 22, 23, whichever.
Yep.
What made you come to Mudgeeraba?
And my mum bought a house in Mudgeeraba. And it was the closest club, so that's how I ended up here when I was 13.
13, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about your favourite... I've got a bunch of questions here. They're going to be the same questions that every person that comes on gets.
Right, okay.
That you were given that you didn't look at.
I don't...
Fantastic.
I'm 21st century independent woman. I work for a living. I didn't have time to research questions.
Anyway.
And I thought I had COVID.
Well, that's also true. So, favourite footballing moment you've played in?
Favourite footballing moment I've played in? Ooh, there's a couple. Probably one of the biggest highlights would have been 17? I think it was. So we started the season, I think we lost like 11-0 against Musgrave. Like, we hadn't really trained or anything. Anyway, it was when we were in reserves. It was 2017, playing in reserves. And we ended up making it through to the finals. We finished like 4th, I think. Anyway, ended up making it through to the grand final, which was against Musgrave again. And they were so confident that they would win that actually bought bottles of champagne ready to celebrate. And we actually ended up beating them, I think, like 3-1 or something. It wasn't even like a close game. So that was a pretty special moment
was that the game?
in football.
Was that played at Broadbeach?
Yeah, that was at Broadbeach.
I was actually there.
Yeah.
Mum did a back that day.
Oh, that's right. The ambulance is in the back of the photos. Yeah, I've got photos with Christelle, who's still on.
I remember that day very well.
Yeah, so he's still on the team. So that would be a big highlight. And, yeah, I think otherwise... Winning a grand final is pretty special. I haven't done, like...
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Sorry about that. I had one job.
Just to throw it out there, I coached Bronwyn for 2 years, 2019, 2020. She won Golden Boot both years, and we bricked both years in the grand final 2-1, both years to Nerang.
I missed a penalty.
You did too.
Yeah, I never missed penalties, but I did.
Clearly you do.
Yeah, so I don't take them anymore. Anyway, yeah, so that's a pretty special moment that year.
What's been your most memorable season?
Memorable season. Well, it depends why. So last season was pretty memorable, but that's probably because we put the fun in the fun family and soccer finesse. There was less
can
finesse.
agree. I reckon that started 3 years ago now.
Okay, but last year was definitely emphasis on fun, not football finesse. Yes. Last year, so that was a pretty fun season. Memorable season would have to be, I think you were our coach, that would be 2019.
The first year,
yeah. So it took me a while to get into that season.
I remember.
With a few things, and then once we got on a roll, we
got on a big roll there.
Yeah, we had a really good team.
Won 12 in a row.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
And got stitched up.
Yeah, and then I remember grand final, ready to go against Nerang, and it was actually, I think it was 1-0 in the end because we missed a penalty, and by we I mean me, and yeah, they ended up scoring and they just dropped everyone back, and it was such a shame because it was the first time we played a grand final at home at Mudgee. So we had this massive crowd.
Swindle out. Even though we had one light pole out.
Yes, I remember they almost cancelled the game, but it was a throwback to the days when I was first at Mudgee when I was younger, and I remember the Premier League men's games. You'd have this massive crowd and drums and everything. And I remember rocking up to that grand final, and it was the biggest crowd I've seen at a football game in years.
Yeah, I think I can attest to that. It was one of the biggest crowds Mudgeeraba had in a long time.
Yeah, and
I'm so glad I didn't have to work in the canteen that night.
Yeah, it was a great night to miss a penalty. Anyway, that season was a pretty memorable season, and it was the year I was
going to say you've brought in a couple of trophies that I asked you to bring in.
Yeah, so that first year was the year you won this one, which was you were voted coach's player out of whole metro out on the Gold Coast. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you won that by I think an indefinite amount of points, that's for sure.
That's cool.
What are you hoping for this season? So obviously you guys have been pushed into FQPL 3 this year, which is an interesting step.
Yeah,
so,
that's probably the highest comp I've played in since I was in reserves in 2017.
Yep.
So I thought my days of playing competitively were over. Yep. But having Stu come on board as the coach this year, we've got some really solid players.
I think you guys have picked up a few girls from Broadbeach, is that correct?
Rabina. Yeah, so a couple of Rabina girls have come over. We've had a couple of girls come back after starting families and things.
It's true, yes, I've seen a couple of new girls.
Yeah, so I feel like we've got a really strong team. We've got a great coach this year. We're all super focused, unlike last year. And I'm just excited to sort of go out there as Mudgee and I guess show the other clubs who've been in that higher division for a number of years now that we're here and we're serious and we've got a shot at doing quite well.
That's true.
So
I agree. I mean, you've picked up a few girls from different clubs. You started from what I've seen, you're starting to gel very well. So hopefully you guys can move forward from that and take it in during the season.
Yeah.
Obviously we've been pushed back another week and a half, 2 weeks kind of thing, but not much you can do about the weather.
It's okay. We probably need a little bit more training as a team.
I can say the same thing for the senior men as well, but it is what it is. Yeah. So tell the people, what position do you play?
Strike.
What position do you like to play?
Well, I'll play anywhere, but
this is very true.
I will. I'll play wherever I'm put, but I have been playing striker most of my adult life. Yeah, look, but it's not from skill. I literally I'm not a skillful player. I've said that for years.
You are just extremely
fight. I just fight. If it's a 60-40,
from watching
I will win that
and
ball.
Coaching you, you're a quick player, can keep the ball at your feet, and realistically, neither do I.
Can't stay on my feet walking.
No, you can't. You're like Bambi. It's insane. If you didn't play football, what do you think you'd play?
I actually haven't minded having a go at AFL, but
I do remember you.
A little bit short, and again, that sort of gung-ho, I'm invincible attitude generally means I come off second best against bigger girls.
True.
So I've
seen this happen in the past.
Yeah. So as much as I like the idea of AFL, I'm probably not cut out for it body shape wise, but that's probably what I would have a go at if I wasn't playing soccer.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's good that you're still around the club. I mean, you have a very big presence in the club. You're very well known.
I love Mudgee.
You're very well known around Mudgee. Well, it's clear. It's clear by all the posts you put up and what's happened in the past and that. And obviously you wear number 2, so that's why we've got up on the wall at the moment.
Which is random.
I mean, we had number 3 up there because I was told number 3.
I used to play when I was a teenager. I liked number 3. I played sweeper as a teenager, but as an adult, I don't know. Somehow I just ended up number 2. I don't care. It's another thing. I don't support.
That's it.
Clubs,
There's a lot of people
don't care
who
which number I play. Don't care which position you put me in. I keep asking to play goalkeeper.
I mean, we've seen how well that went against Narang.
Excuse me. I had a torn hamstring.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
It's been fun. So look out for the next episode. This will be coming out on. We're going to try and do these every Sunday and have these come out Sunday, either fortnightly or weekly. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Can I just give a quick shout out to the people at Mudgeeraba that make it such a wonderful club to play at. I've never played at another club. I love Mudgee. I love being here. And big shout out to Jodie Payne, who is actually in the room right now, but I think this needs to be said that I have seen the women's program grow over the last few years and become what it is today, and we wouldn't be in FQPL3 this year. We wouldn't have the players we do. We wouldn't have the unity and the strength of camaraderie that we have in the women's program without her and her tireless behind the scenes work. So Mudgee is more than just a club. It really has become a family to me.
Yeah. And that's what that's one thing that I admire about Mudgeeraba. It's not just
your mum, and
it's not just football.
You guys,
it's a family thing.
Yeah,
and I mean that first year, that 2019 when we started.
Yeah.
When Jodie asked me on a Wednesday, do you want to coach the women? And I said, not a chance.
Yeah.
An hour later, I was like, yeah, sure, no worries, let's do this, it could be fun.
Yeah.
From that moment, the women's, we only had, one team, I think, that year. Yeah. We had one team that year. We started that year very slowly. We got into family dinners, which we had once a month on a Tuesday night.
I remember,
I feel like this is where it started from, where it's built up, this women's thing. So the women's, many years ago at the club, as you know, used to be one of the biggest forces in football Gold Coast. Like, our Premier League women used to be amazing. You had people like Tamika playing, Kate Jackowitz, who's now an international referee.
I remember.
You had Rosie Sutton, who's still playing for...
Yeah, she's still playing, I saw that.
I think she's at Perth Glory.
Yeah.
I think, no, she's moved from Perth Glory.
It was,
I'm not sure where she is now, but no, she's playing for Brisbane Olympic.
Yeah.
She's at Brisbane Olympic now, but back then we used to have a very strong women's team, and then it kind of died off a little bit.
Yeah.
We attempted NPL. It worked for, I think it was the first year, and then it kind of fizzled away a little bit due to other things. But I mean, you've always got to try things.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And from a couple of years ago, and the women's team, from what I've seen, is just built.
Oh, it's incredible.
And now we've got 3 teams this year. We've gone from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3.
And not just 3 sort of teams. Like, you should see our training sessions.
3 fairly
it's
strong
like a
teams.
horde.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Mudgee. It's the people. It's Jenny,
exactly right.
Payno, and you guys in the camp. Like Jenny, I have so many lion things on my bags and everything, and llamas. Like, because you join Mudgee and you're not just joining a soccer club. You're actually joining a community and a family. And
where this comes into play.
Yeah, and it's so important because it makes you want to go that extra mile. And I'll never play for another club. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. It's been fun.